Today's June 23rd, 2024, and on this day, back in 1912, Alan Turing was born. His insights and contributions are ever so present in our modern times, especially with our conversations on artificial intelligence. So I just wanted to take this moment and wish Alan Turing a happy birthday. Let's begin. So today's puzzle uses 5 criteria cards and it's 5 verification cards. Let's go to turingmachine.info for the details. So today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 9, 15, 16, 19, and 20, and uses the purple verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by going to turingmachine.info and searching using the code. Let's solve. So on the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, criteria card C. And on the bottom row, we've got criteria card D and criteria card E. Criteria card A looks at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know how many of those digits have the digit 3. Are there no 3s in our solution? Is there 1, 2, or possibly all 3 of them are 3s? Criteria card B looks at our 3-digit solution, triangle, square, circle, and will let us know which one's the absolute largest. Should triangle be the absolute largest? Should square be the absolute largest? Or could circle be the absolute largest? Criteria card C again looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. So should there be more even than odds? Should there be less even than odds? Criteria card D looks at the first 2 digits, triangle and square, takes their sum and compares that to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should the sum be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card E again looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know a little bit about its structure. Specifically, one scenario is that there are no repetitions among our 3 digits, meaning that they're all unique, as in the example 1, 2, 5. It could then otherwise be a double number, meaning that there is a repeating digit in our solution, as in the example 1, 1, 2, or it could even be a triple number, meaning that it's a single digit repeated 3 times, as in the example 2, 2, 2. Remember, the objective of the puzzle is to find this one unique solution that abides by all of the criteria cards that we just described. And we're going to start off with our initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find out something about the ratio of even to odds. So let me go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing machine does not approve of my proposal. Notice that in my proposal of 314, I do have 2 odds to a single even. The Turing machine does not approve of that. So therefore, in my notes, I'm going to say that actually there are more even than odds. So that's in section C. So I'm going to say there are more even than odds. And what that means is either there could be 2 evens to a single odd, or potentially they're all even. Just don't know yet. So with that in mind, I do want to test criteria card E to see if they're all unique or they're double. So let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Okay, so the Turing machine does approve of my proposal. So again, my proposal is 314. Notice that there are no repetitions. They're all unique. So that's what I'm going to write down in my notes in section E, that there are no repetitions. And because there are no repetitions and I do have more even than odds, that means that my solution must have a 2, a 4, and an odd. Just don't know what it could be. So again, because I do have more evens than odds and no repetition, I can only have uniquely a 2 and a 4. It can't be paired up, and so that means that third digit must be an odd. Now I do have this criteria card A that will let us know if there's a 3 or not. Again, because I do have two evens, obviously there can't be 2 3s or all being 3s. So either the 3 is there or it's not. So the benefit is I do have a 3 in my proposal. So it's a check mark, great, I know it's a 3. Otherwise, it would default to a 1 or a 5. And I'm not sure, because that's kind of a 50-50. I could wait until the second round to do that. It may be more perhaps beneficial to test either B or D, since each has 3 different possibilities, and so it'd be probably wise to test one of those. And I think I'm going to test criteria card D, so that way I know a little bit about, well, in past problems, whenever I have a 2 and a 4, sometimes that's actually a 6, and so that would mean that the circle would be the odd. That could still be the case. I don't have a 6, or perhaps I should test B to find out which one is the biggest. So currently circle is the biggest. If I get an X for that might lead me to believe either triangle or square being the biggest, and therefore the sum to be, greater than 6. So let me go ahead and test B and see what happens. Okay, so it is not a circle, so that means either triangle or square is the largest. So let me go ahead and put that down in my notes in B, that triangle or square is the largest. Okay, so since it's either triangle or square that are the largest, I think the only thing I can say for sure is that circle cannot be a 5. Because if it were a 5, then, triangle or square, what would they be? Unfortunately, I don't think I can cross out, ones customarily when we have, I guess, specifically criteria card D. That's when you kind of cancel out the other values. But I think in this case, the only thing I can cross out, the only thing we can say for sure is that circle cannot be a 5, but potentially, well, yeah, triangle or square could be a 1. It's just that the other one is the largest. Okay, so I think that's it for this round. We answered, or we queried our 3 Turing tests for this round. So now we're going into the phase of trying to construct a good second round proposal. So again, we do know we have a 2 and a 4. Potentially, I guess you could have a 5. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, right? If it is an odd, it could be a 5 that's the largest. Otherwise, the 4 would be the largest. So it might be that 4 might be the largest, and then you're basically only having to consider whether 1 or 3 is the odd. That would kind of make sense. So if that's the case, then maybe, yeah, I'm going to try again having a 4 and a 2, and then and then that'll tell me which of the triangle and square is the 4, forcing the other one to be the 2. And then obviously this, whether there's a 3 or not, will be the circle. So let's try out, let's see, 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 1, or 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3. I am going to try 2, 4, 1. Let's try that out. 2, 4, 1. Sounds good. Let's try it. Okay, so again, the first thing I do want to test is whether that sum is a 6 or not. So that's criteria card D. Okay, so yes, we know the sum is 6, and so we do know that triangle square have to be the 2 and the 4. So let's go ahead and put in our notes in section D that the sum of triangle plus square is indeed 6. And so again, we do know then that 2 and 4 are triangle square. Now, can we deduce which one is the 2 or the 4? I don't think so. It's a coin flip. So let's go ahead and test criteria card B. And so, okay, so I chose square to be the largest. The Turing machine tells me no, that is not the case. Remember, we tried circle, square, so it must be triangle that's the largest. So I don't know if I can actually, can I cross over? I don't know if it'll cross over the square or not, but let's give it a try. What happens? Yeah, so it didn't actually cross out the square. So we know that triangle is the largest, so we'll just say that we'll cross out everything but the 4, and then for square, it must be a 2, since again the sum is 6, and then we'll query criteria card A to see if there is a 3 or not. So let's go ahead and test A. Okay, so it does approve of there not being a 3. So that's what I'll write down for in my section A. There is no 3-digit. And so again, for circle, what that means is that 1 is true, because that's the only other odd that remains. So it's not 3, and of course it couldn't be even either. And of course the 5 got canceled earlier when we discovered that it was not the largest. So that's our solution, 421. So let's type it up. And let's just review really quickly. There's no 3-digit, that's correct. Triangle is the largest, the first one is. There are more even than odds. The sum is 6, and there are no repetitions. So that looks great. Let's go to turingmachine.info to verify. So 421. Okay, fantastic, we got it. But of course it's a Turing machine to see if we did beat it. That I think is also a valuable tool to assess how we did. So let's go ahead and see. So in the first round we did B, C, E, and E was the only correct one. And then we did do B twice. And so let's see how we did. So B, C, D. So B, C, was it D? No, B, C, E. Again, wouldn't matter, but just for accuracy's sake. And then in the second round, we did A, B, and that was also wrong. And then we did D. And so let's see how we did. Okay, so not too bad. There were 5 criteria cards. We took 1 extra test, and that was B. And but we did it under 6, so we beat the Turing Machine by 1 question. Again, having played several games and solved puzzles, there are certain patterns that you do pick up on. I don't know if that creates a bias when solving future puzzles, but again, typically when you do have a 2-4, it's somewhat likely that if you do end up with this criteria card where you take the sum of the first 2, again, those 2 evens do add up to 6. That's a certain pattern that you see often. It's not a guarantee, but it's something to consider. So I think that kind of helped us out. But otherwise, I think it was a good, fun puzzle compared to yesterday's, challenging one where I went to 9 queries, 3 rounds, and lost by 1. So in any case, so this was a nice little uplift from yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, if you do notice anything in today's video, please do add a comment. I'd like to hear what you think, and if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, please do subscribe to be notified of when the next video is available. And of course, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Well, until next time, have a great one.